welcome back to another episode of Moments with Murph with your host, me, Murph. So today we got a good one again. It's all guests because it's season 3. And we're going to talk about college and tips that you should have before going to college and during college. But whatever platform you're listening to this on, whether it's YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, for some of you awesome people, please leave a review and a rating. It really helps the podcast. And for those who are watching me on YouTube, leave a like and a comment. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button because, again, it really helps out the channel. So today, got an awesome guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself. And go ahead.
Hey, everyone. My name is Lauren, a.k.a. Lo. I host the podcast Let's Talk with Lo, where we basically talk about starting our healing journey, whether that comes to mental health, self-discovery, and things of that nature. So yeah, I'm excited to be here, and thank you for letting me onto your podcast, Murph.
Of course. And if you guys haven't heard her podcast, I'm going to leave the actual full name and link in the description or in the show notes. So just be eyes glued to that. But yeah, if she's one of the people that, like, if you need something calm to listen to, especially at night, you ain't got to worry about yelling, you got to worry about screaming, you got to worry about none of that. Just real informative, real inspirational, something great to listen to when you just need to get your mind right. So definitely got to tap into her. But again, so today we're going to talk about college tips, and we're going to hop right into it, starting with tip number 1. Which is picking the right school. So you want to make sure you do your research. And I'm going to let her start it off.
Yeah, so it is definitely important to do your research. I guess some of the top things to look for is, of course, what you're going to study. The location is important for some people. People might want to move to the South or the East Coast or the West Coast, whatever. And, any groups or social involvements that you want to do, because not to come from a dramatic standpoint, but I mean, this is the next 4 years of your life, and I feel like college is very critical in growth. So you want to go somewhere where you're going to grow, not only just physically but mentally and emotionally, and you're happy to be there because you or your parents are spending money. Which is crazy for me to say because I feel like I didn't choose the college I went to. My parents did, but we go back and forth on it, basically. But I did not like my undergrad experience as much. I did have fun, but I was so stuck on this is not where I want to be. But then once grad school came around, I'm still at the same school. Once I opened my mind up to, okay, I'm here for a reason, then college became so much better for me. So, yeah.
And I definitely feel that because I think people honestly forget that the school is an investment. Like, you invest money into school and then you're investing money into yourself. So people got to look at the whole picture and take into account, like, what they're really getting into. Because as a person, like, you wouldn't just waste money on a car, what some of us do. But we wouldn't just waste money on a car. So it's like, why waste money on yourself? Why waste money on an institution that either isn't going to provide what you need or isn't going to, give you that good feel that you're expecting? Because like she said, right, with picking, your major and picking, the one that has, let's say, the career path that you need, that plays a big portion. Like, if you are someone who, let's just say, loves communication or loves psychology, and the school that you're going to doesn't offer either one of those majors, then why are you picking it? Like, you're going to waste money at least the first year, and not just the first semester, and you might not actually enjoy what you're doing. Now, you might find something that is, interesting to you, but is it going to get you to where you're actually trying to get to? And I think it's funny that you said that you didn't feel like you had a hand in picking your college, because, like, I had a super hand. Like, they were trying to keep me in the state, and I knew that I was trying to leave because I knew the reasons behind it. Whereas, like, A, I wanted to get away, and B, I wanted to just, see something new. I mean, I wanted to really get away from people being able to come to me within a certain mile radius. Like, 2-hour drive, people would have been cool with that. But 6 hours, like, you gotta get mentally prepared to come see me. And you got, like, honestly, you got to be mentally prepared to take that long drive through all the mountains and possibly lose signal. So it's just like, I had to choose something that I thought was best for me. And the positive thing is that they had the major I wanted, well, both majors if I wanted either one of them. So I started off with sport management. I'm still sport management. My minor is communication. So they had both of those. And it gave me the opportunity to be in broadcasting, which is what I wanted to do, because I love commentating for sports and have my own radio show. So I'm like, I had to choose a school that actually had those things. So like, when it came to talking to my parents about where I wanted to go, they were trying to put me in schools that didn't satisfy all of my needs. And that's something that some people don't take into consideration, is actually evaluating, you know, what schools offer, which honestly is like the biggest thing, to be honest.
Right. Yeah. I definitely so how I ended up going to my college was my dad told me, like, if you, because I wanted to study business, he was like, if you want to do business, like, this is one of the best schools to do business at. So that was my, okay, I'll go, because that's what I want to do as a major. And I'm just like, school isn't fun no matter if it's high school, college, da 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 da. So I just was like, okay, whatever. But then when I actually got there, it's like, okay, I don't like it. And there's more to school than just academics, which I didn't realize when I went to college. Was it's not just about the studies at all. It's every college has its own culture and everything, and that's something that either you adjust to or you just don't. So
yeah. I'm gonna say it's like you really gotta find the other side of it, because yeah, some people only look at, you know, academics, and there's a whole residence life. Like, it's 50% academics, but 50% is residence life, which is really where you kind of find out like who you are. So that kind of leads into tip number 2, which is knowing your why. Like, you need to know the reason you're going to college. Like, are you going to go have fun? Are you going to go get, you know, like she said, a business degree? I love some business. Like, are you going to go play sports? Like, what is your real purpose? Like, what is your reason? Because for those who don't know that reason, then you're kind of just going through the motion. And if you really think about it, like, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, if not other people's money. And if you're one of the people like me who has loans out, that means you're paying back money that you borrowed for no reason, giving away free money for no reason. And you got this debt on you that you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole. And some people don't get out of the hole and some people do, but sometimes it hurts them in the process. So it's like, if you're going for that reason, or if you're going to college, like, know the reason why.
right. I mean, you can know the reason why, but some people you just don't, and you find out that reason in college sometimes. Like they say when you get out of high school, oh, what do you want to be? I mean, for the past 17, 18 years, I've been studying other things that I didn't want to study. Now you're telling me that I have to pick something and I haven't liked school this whole time or something like that. I know, like, my roommate, she didn't really know what she wanted to do. She knew she loved to read and write and stuff like that. So she was just going through the motions. She went through a lot of majors, but somehow graduated before me. But she went through a lot of majors until she found one she actually liked, and now she's in law school. And that wasn't her path coming in freshman year. So I mean, yeah, don't waste your money. But if you feel like there's something in school or you don't know which major you want yet, you can go figure it out, either that be at a university or a community college. And yeah, see where it takes you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though, because one of my friends came in undecided as well. Like, she took a bunch of just random gen eds. Well, it served the purpose of a gen ed in a elective, to say, but she took like a bunch of different classes like the first year to figure out what she wanted. And she's seen part of classes I were taking because, like, I had my mind made up. I'm like, yeah, I'm just sport management, when really I should have been in business. That is my love, but whatever. But she also seen the communication side. And for a person who's very introvert and doesn't like to talk to people, she chose communication as her major. So to her, she felt like, you know, that's her hardship. That's one thing that she can never get over. Like, she can't public speak. She can't hold a conversation with people that she don't know, which is weird because it's like, how do you know people if you don't know people? But whatever. But over the course, like she definitely learned like what she wanted to be, and I guess in a sense, like it makes great purpose if you're not sure when you go into college of what you want to do. But I think you definitely should know if going to college kind of is for you. But over the course, you kind of learn that, because I have friends who thought it was for them and they end up just leaving because it's like, oh, I don't like it, or oh, I don't like it here. So can't be too mad at them. But I don't know. I kind of think if you're going to college, just like you should know why, or you should know what you're trying to get into.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with if you want to go, if you didn't like high school, then don't, I'm not saying don't go to college, like, but if you feel like, high school was just too much, or you don't feel like learning, or you feel like you can do something else that doesn't involve college, then do that instead of wasting your money. But if you know that college is, you don't know what you want to be yet, but you know that this is the first step of getting there, I would say take that step.
Definitely. I would take like a step further and just say, if you're unsure, like do the community. Like see if the workload is what you can handle, and see if engaging with people that you don't know is something that you're actually comfortable with, and which you're very comfortable with because it's a new world out here. But you want to make sure, like I think the community route is cheaper for sure, and it definitely gives you a good intro. And if you don't like it after that 2 years, you still walk away with an associate's degree, so you got secondary level education, and you're able to walk away with some skills and a little bit of an experience that'll help you get a better career job. But at the end of that 2 years, if you feel like you missed out, like, oh my gosh, I didn't talk to a lot of people, or oh my goodness, I didn't go to any parties, or I don't have that residential life, the other 50% of college, then over the course, I think you will learn like now what your reason is to go ahead and go get get the bachelor's degree, or to even just enjoy that whole residence life. Which actually kind of leads into tip 3, which is being more sociable. And I'm gonna let her start off.
I don't know if I can give advice on this one, because I'm very like laid back, shy, quiet. But I was, I guess, social in some aspects, in some ways. So I went to school in Florida, and I'm from Michigan, and we have like a Michigan club at my school. So I was very social and very active within that, realm. And then once grad school came around, I was more like, okay, I know everybody here, so there's no reason for me like to be quiet or anything like that, especially with me about to graduate and I'm looking for jobs. I need to network and be more social with my professors than I have in the past.
Exactly. I must say, I came into college a little quiet, but that was for certain circumstances. Ain't gonna dwell on the past, but the real me is very talkative and extrovert. Like I got called, they called me the community friend. So they like, if you ever need a buddy, just call Murphy. And I'm just like, you know what? That's kind of cute. Like it was kind of funny because like I am that person who, people expect to be talkative. Like I'm the person who you expect to be friends with if I like them. I'm not friends with everybody. Just letting y'all know that. But, I will basically take an initiative to, communicate with you, see who you are, learn something about you. But those who I know actually can be beneficial, I definitely don't know. So like, I don't know how many people have heard of marketing funnel, which is basically kind of accepting all leads, but then you funnel it down to the bottom. So not everyone makes it to the bottom. And that's how I structure, talking to my friends, talking to professors, like, let me communicate with everybody and see who's actually, positive. Because like not all professors is your friend. A lot of them are mine because I try to make them that way, but they are great guidance. Not all of your friends are your friends. So you got those who are just people you don't know, and then you got your acquaintances, you got your friends, you got your best friends, you got kind of like family members, right? And through all the people that we got on campus, I probably have 5 family members that I consider family. So like when college is all said and done, like no matter what, I will continue to talk to them. But I never would have met them had I been quiet and introvert. And I'm not gonna lie, I tried the little introvert before, and I was very sad. Like I used to sit in the room. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's quiet, because this literally happened right after my roommate left, and I'm just like, oh, it's quiet. Like I ain't got nobody to throw stuff at no more. Like it's dark in here because I won't turn the light on because it's all the way over there. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like as for certain people, it doesn't work in a sense. But one thing I do tell people, like, if you are an introvert, that is okay. And to not be scared to talk to other people, because you never know how that person might benefit you later on. Like my one friend, like named Austin, he's cool people. Probably wouldn't have spoke to me if he wasn't in the same major, but just talking to him kind of opened my eyes to new things. And not so much that he kind of taught me things, but he told me about his own experiences. And it made me think like, oh my goodness, like, I should be catching up. I'm like, he's going to be somebody in the same field as me, and he's making connections with people. Why aren't I doing the same? And something just like that is what helped me kickstart, talking to people just in general. Like, if you guys don't use LinkedIn, it is going to be your best friend. It will help you, network with people, as she stated, and they'll give you insight. Like, not everybody responds, just let y'all know. But people who do, who actually want to help, young people because they were in our positions before, they'll give you insight on their position, and it'll let you know, if that's something you really want to do. Like, do you be on the LinkedIn, Lo?
Yeah, I do have a LinkedIn. But yeah, I definitely should have had your mindset when I went into college. I definitely was very closed off, especially coming from the Midwest to Florida. And we all know how we feel about Florida, so I had an extra little extra little guard up. And I didn't realize, like you said, the strength of networking. You never know who your classmate is going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. So definitely make that relationship and connection. And your professors are definitely, here to help as well. I mean, one of the reasons why I got my job was because the resources from my school and resources from professors that I've, talked to help me prepare and everything like that. And other students too have helped me prepare for interviews and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely having a social life. Now, I'm not saying you got to be out here talking to any and everybody and being fake or anything like that, or using people to be on top or whatever that you're trying to get out of people. But it definitely helps college, overall be better. Like, you'll have friends to do stuff with after class, parties, all that. You know who to work with when it comes to projects and all that good stuff.
Oh my God. Like, hey, talk to your classmates. They'll let you know who will be the slacker and who will actually get some stuff done. Because because like this past semester, we already knew who was in our class, and he let us choose up to 6 people per group. And everybody who does work all tag each other. We all sent a message at the exact same time, unintentionally, but knowing that we were the ones who were going to work in the group. So I ain't gonna lie to you guys, that definitely helps. So you being a quiet person and just kind of going with the flow, you won't know who your classmates is until you're in a group project with them and you realize that you hate it.
Yeah, and it definitely won't help you get to where you are. I thought, oh, I don't need anybody to get where I want to go when it comes to my career path. I'm just here to do my studying and get on. But once I realized that it's more than that, then that's when my mind changed. Like, I was more open-minded, talking to people and making connections and trying to find a good job.
Definitely.
And making memories.
For sure. Like, that's honestly where the joining groups part comes into, because like you said, the Michigan group, like, it makes you feel, a part of something. So like for me, like, because I'm from Ohio, I'm from Cleveland, woohoo, and I went to a school in Pennsylvania. So I went from the Midwest to the Northeast. And let me tell you, the language is different for sure. And I went and I knew nobody when I went over there. I knew one person because she came with me. and then she exited. So now I had to basically just restart, everything and try to figure out how to communicate. I like talking, but effectively, and really trying to communicate that real language. So like little groups, I started joining to, start small, and then you can expand. So like you learn people in the Michigan group, and then over a course, you sometimes get to see their friends outside just because you see them outside, right? And then like for me, I had joined the Black Student Union and joined the Sport Management Club. So Sport Management Club was simple because I was a sport management major. So it was like, go to the meeting. Okay, cool. And then Black Student Union was fine too, because I had the skin color for it, right? But it was open to everybody. But starting with small groups helped me elevate to larger people, because like once you see the people in your groups, you know who they are, you learn who they are, and if you like them, y'all hang out. If you don't like them, then you just say hello in the meeting. But when you go outside of the meetings and you see that person, you get to communicate with them, and then 9 times out of 10, one of their friends is going to eventually come around, and then you see their friend. And then if you smart, you just chill, right? You just listen to see if they friend, kind of cool, and then you can communicate with them. And then after a course, it really just expands. And again, with what she was saying, like how certain things could help in your career, like the Sport Management Club and other clubs too, it definitely can help, because we were in the process of doing an event before COVID hit where we had to basically build up a stadium, well, not build up a stadium, but set up an event for survivors of cancer. There we go. And it was a basketball game for the high schoolers in which everybody was included, but it had us, combined to do project management and marketing. So no, it wasn't for a grade, but it was for a good cause. But had I not joined that group, I would have never had, that minimum of experience, but the experience nonetheless. And that's why I say being sociable helps, because had I not joined that group, I would not know those people, and did I not have started that event in which I couldn't, speak about that when it comes to talking into interviews. So just from, being sociable, it gives you the opportunity to talk a little more when it's really go time in the career setting.
Right. And not to come for my fellow introverts, because there's nothing wrong with being an introvert, especially if you're one of those introverts like me, where if I'm determined to do something, I don't care who I need to talk to, how many people are going to be there, or anything like that. But I know for my career field and what I wanted to go into, I knew that I was going to have to talk to different people. So one thing that I did was become a tour guide on campus, because I'm like, well, that's me practicing public speaking all the time. So at least 3 times a week. And I'm like, well, if I keep doing this, maybe I won't be nervous, when I'm speaking in class or speaking to other people that I don't really know. So, it's okay to be an introvert. Just, I feel like when there's something that you need to step up for, you will, but never let anybody, stop your dreams or limit you because you don't like to talk to many people.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. And like with the tour guide, you can talk to people, you get to walk around, so you just exercise in, you can see new faces, like you win it 3 times. So on to our tip number 4, which is being productive. So we're going to start with actually learning something. Like when you're on campus, go to class. I cannot stress that enough. Like if you don't, after the first semester, at least for us, you can pick your classes and you can pick your times. So if you know you're not a 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. class person, then don't start your classes until 10 or 11. You pay for those classes. And if you skip enough, some professors will go ahead and just give you that nice E or F, depending on your grading scale, and you will just go ahead and fail that class, or you withdraw it and you got to pay for another class, which is extra money, and you just wasted probably $2,000 or $3,000, give or take. But when you're on campus, go to class, actually learn something. Don't be the person who's paying people to get things done because you want to go party, or you want to go chill, or you want to go hang upside down on the fence or something, or whatever you do. Like, actually go into class, get something out of it. Now, I am going to be the person to tell you, if the class does not seem like something you care about, it is okay to finesse it. And what I mean is, like, you're there, you're learning, but you're kind of learning to remember. And I'll give you an example. Like, as a sport management major, my field more so is business. So when I was in biology, I didn't care about it. I'm like, I don't have to explain to somebody about the human eye when we're talking about cells and stuff. This bio stuff is something I'm not going to care about, not going to need. But what I am going to do, I am going to learn what he's talking about, but figure out how can I pass the class. And in this instance, I sat in the front, in which I always do. And while I looked at his slides during a class presentation, what I seen was about 100 words per slide, right? But everything in bold print was the only things that was on the exams. That was me learning how to finesse the class to pass, but you still learn something in the process. Like, who knew that flowers have both male and female parts? Never knew. Am I going to use that? No, I'm not. But I learned something in the sense of trying to go ahead and finesse that class. So I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, definitely go to class. I was the girl who always went to class, and I went to class early so I could pick my seat.
Oh God.
That's the thing, y'all, because there's no assigned seats, and when you like that one seat, you want to get it every single time. But yeah, go to class, because if you miss one class, it feels like you done missed the entire semester to me. There's some people that can balance not going to class and still getting the work done and still passing. I don't think I'm one of those people. So yeah, definitely go to class. And yeah, they make us take classes that you're not going to be interested in, but like Murphy said, you can finesse it any type of way and keep it moving.
Honestly, straight keep it pushing. Hey, because you said that seat thing. I'm not gonna lie, I was that person. Like, I always sit in the front row or the front two or straight in the middle, like
Mm-hmm.
middle. But yeah, like I made sure, like if I sat in a seat, it was my seat. So even if I came, like I'm always early, but even if I'm early late, which means I'm only like 2 minutes early instead of 5 minutes early, like that's my seat. And if you sit in my seat, I'm gonna kind of just stare at you, just like, okay, so like, what we gonna do here? Like, are you gonna scoot over, or do I gotta put a desk right next to you to make you feel uncomfortable till you move? Like, we gonna figure something out because that's my seat. And honestly, guys, when y'all feel comfortable in the seat, like that's your territory. Don't let anybody change your mind. I'm just telling you that right now. But going back to it, like also, like when it comes to actually learning, like make sure you're prepared. So me personally, like I kind of like a mental planner in my head, and that doesn't always work. So for those who know they're very forgetful, make sure you write things down. But make sure you also have your books with you. Make sure you have your notes with you. Make sure you're actually prepared for class and after class. So if you got exams, okay, you got one on Thursday, one on Friday. Don't wait until Thursday morning to start practicing for one exam and then try to go learn some other stuff afterwards for the Friday exam, knowing darn well nothing is going to get productive. So actually be prepared. Like go to class with your writing utensils. Or I'm not promoting this, but if you're a person who goes to class and go to sleep, make sure you have enough room on your phone to at least do the voice recording. This way you can go back and play it back and still, get your notes in and all that good stuff. Like
Yeah, going going to class, being prepared is another thing. So like in my undergrad years, I would have all my books with me, um, just in case. And I know that you're supposed to read before class. Sometimes I would do that depending on the teacher. But that reading before class definitely helps. And the teacher can definitely tell who been studying and reading before class and who hasn't, and who's prepared for the next day. But so yeah, definitely be prepared at all times. I don't know about your school, but going to HBCU, you definitely have to be prepared at all times.
I would say, yeah, being at PWI, like you for sure have to. And going back to the seating thing, if you sit in the front, just know that you're setting yourself up to pay attention, but to also fail if you did not do the reading. And I learned that freshman year, where I don't know how well I am at finessing, but this day it worked. So I know I didn't read because I was laid out the day before. Like I was dehydrated, so I was in the hospital for X amount of hours, and I didn't do not a lick of work. And I forgot that we had to read before the next class. So she's going over the stuff, and it wasn't until about 9:05, because class started at 9, that I realized that we were supposed to read before I got to class. I'm like, I didn't open a book. So I had to wait and look clueless. Like, I'm looking around, I'm waiting for her to call on everybody else. And as people start talking, I was able to formulate a few words when she called on me so happily. And I made it work. I made it work till she just was able to nod her head and to go on to the next person. So if you need to read, make sure that you do so, because if you're a person who sits in the front, you are subject to being called on. So if you're going to set yourself up, make sure you set yourself up to win.
Yes.
Sure. Like, oh my goodness. So also, when there's a lot of stuff on campus, so going back to being productive on our whole tip 4, make sure you utilize these things. So if you want to hit the gym, then actually do it. Because look, I'm biased because I love going to the gym. I love helping out people. But you already paid for it. So why not utilize it?
And right, and that freshman 15 is real, okay? Hey. I gained like the freshman 20, okay? Don't let that fool you.
I'm about to say, like, I ain't gonna cap. I was happy with mine. I went from like 155 to 181, but most of that was like because I came in as an athlete, so like I had to eat and work out more. Yeah, so that was a freshman 26, but I loved all of it. But had I not came with football, I still probably would have gained definitely a good 16, 17 and been about 172, because right now I'm balancing between like 174, 178. So yeah, that 15 is for real. And if you want to look, in a nice physique, whether you're a male or a female, hit the gym. It is already paid for, so no, it is not free, but it's free. Just go ahead and swipe. Also, there are student services. If you don't know, please visit them. They help you with your resume. They help you with your cover letters. They do all of this awesome things for free. Actually, you already paid for it again, but they're there to help you, because part of being productive is being prepared to exit, which is either graduating, more likely you should graduate, or moving on to the next step of going to be, in the grad, to be in the master's program. So part of being productive is also being prepared, which means being prepared to exit. So those of y'all who wait to the last minute, do not. Talk to your professors if you're late on work, and you should not be late on work, but if you're late on work, if you're falling behind, if you need extra help, do so. When it comes to your schedules, talk to your advisor. Some advisors suck, but it's okay, talk to them anyways. And try to make sure what you're taking is going to actually help you graduate. Also, again, don't be one of those people who's a senior and you wait till 2 weeks before graduation and then go take your resume to the student services. They cannot help you. Your time is up. So I want to put that in there as far as being productive. Any remarks on that one?
Yeah, that's great that you say have an exit strategy, because I don't know if many people really think about that. They just go, okay, I'm doing my studies, and then graduation comes up and then find a job. I find it more productive to start looking and interviewing for jobs while you're still in college. And like you said, utilize those resources. So for me, how I got my job is I went to the career fair that student services does for us. I think like twice a year. So I was able to network with different companies, and found one that liked me, and yeah.
Definitely. I'm gonna say, just so y'all are clear, but we slid in kind of smooth. It was tough. Tip 5 is having an exit strategy, just to make sure that's explicitly stated. Because like she said, some people want to wait until after they get the degree and then go look for a job. No, because you don't know how long it's going to take for you to find a job. And even when you apply for it, you don't know how long it's going to take for you to actually get accepted. Because I know, even though I haven't put in, well, I have put in job applications, but that was for something else. But for at least, let's say for an internship. So I put in an application for an internship, but I didn't hear back from them until 2 months later. Now I'm already in one which is good because I was looking for one before the semester ended. Now, when they got back to me, the first one who took 2 months, it wasn't until the semester had about a week left, which wasn't going to benefit too much. So think about that in the career aspect. Like, do you really not want to hear back from a job until a week after you're about to graduate? Because at that point, it was an interview, but I wouldn't have known if I actually had the internship or not. And who wants to know that they're not going to have an internship or a job in this aspect until maybe weeks or months after you graduate? Like, you want to know what's going to be good beforehand. So honestly, I recommend reaching out to people at least about a month and a half in advance. This way you can make sure they have everything they need. Like, if your resume isn't up to date, get that together. If your cover letter isn't up to date, get that together. Make sure you gather all the information they actually need and start reaching out to people. So this way they take their 2-3 week long process because they're heavily applicated because everybody's graduating. Then it gives you a little bit of comfort and a little bit of cushion to still talk and reach out to other people. So